Avengers Endgame did a lot of things. It brought an end to the Infinity Saga. It gave us some amazing action set pieces and some very touching character moments. One thing it may have also done is set up a bunch of potential Marvel properties, including a possible Young Avengers film. Wait a second. Young Avengers?
Somebody did not get the memo.
What kind of crazy stuff are you talking about, ScreenRant person? Well, stick around and we will dive deep into what exactly we're talking about. Also, there are spoilers ahead. You've been warned. First off, we should probably establish who the heck the Young Avengers even are, since it's probably safe to assume that at least a few members of our audience weren't even aware that the Young Avengers were even a thing. As the name would make you expect, the Young Avengers are of course a team of younger superheroes. Think of them as Marvel's analog to DC's Teen Titans. Kind of. In the comics, the Young Avengers team was formed sometime around the end of the Avengers' disassembled story arc, and saw several young heroes coming together after being handpicked by Nathaniel Richards, a descendant of Reed Richards, aka Mr. Fantastic from the Fantastic Four. Richards, clad in a suit of high-tech armor and going by the name Iron Lad, puts together the team in an effort to stop Kang the Conqueror, the future version of himself.
You didn't see that coming?
Yes, you heard me. Kang is the future version of Richards. If you thought Endgame was pretty ludicrous with all the time travel shenanigans in that film, it doesn't even begin to hold a candle to the kind of bonkers stuff the comics do from time to time. So what exactly did he want to stop his future self from doing? Well, if the name Kang the Conqueror didn't tip you off, he is on an eternal quest across space and time to take over pretty much all of existence and subjugate any and all who oppose him. Sounds like fun? Anyway, Richards built himself a suit of armor fashioned after Iron Man's armor and took on the name Iron Lad. While building said armor, Richards downloads and installs the remnants of Vision's operating system to the suit, which reveals to Richards a failsafe plan Vision created just in case the team were to ever disband or be defeated. This failsafe would seek to locate the next generation of heroes to serve as the new Avengers team. Using this plan, Richards assembled a team of heroes, all of whom had some prior connection to members of the Avengers. This team was, of course, the Young Avengers. The initial roster included Hulkling, the son of Mar-Vell and a Skrull princess who is capable of transforming into a being similar to the Hulk. Patriot, the grandson of Isaiah Bradley, a super soldier who once held the title of Captain America. Wiccan, the reincarnated son of Scarlet Witch and Vision. Kate Bishop, aka Hawkeye. You can imagine what she's good at and how she was connected to the original Avengers. And of course, Stature, aka Cassandra Lang, the daughter of Scott Lang who possessed her father's ability to change size at will.
Whoa, that's so cool, bro!
Now, I'm sure that after taking a look at that roster, you're already starting to get a fairly decent idea of how the MCU version of the team could come together. First up, let's address the role of Iron Lad. Now, it is entirely within the realm of possibility that Nathaniel Richards could make his debut in the MCU. Now that Disney and Marvel once again have the rights to the Fantastic Four and all connected properties, there is no legal obstacle stopping him from popping up. However, there is a small cameo in Avengers Endgame that has us thinking that Disney and Marvel may choose to go a different direction. During Tony Stark's funeral, audience members may have spotted someone in the crowd that they probably didn't recognize. A random kid was just chilling in the back there, not standing near anyone in particular. If you didn't know, that is Harley Keener, the young kid from the often maligned Iron Man 3. In that film, Keener expressed a natural aptitude for engineering, building his own potato gun that he used to threaten Stark with when he found him in his garage. He went on to help Stark figure out the mystery surrounding the exploding people by showing him around town and helping him procure necessary items, such as a sweet limited edition watch. For his efforts, at the end of the film, Stark rewarded the boy by tricking out his garage with sweet gizmos and gadgets, including a helper robot of his own. Hopefully that one's a bit more helpful than Stark's. So it's not too much of a stretch to guess that in the intervening years between Iron Man 3 and Endgame, Keener could have become quite the inventor, inspired by Stark to craft tech beyond the scope of what one would assume a normal teenager would be able to achieve. Perhaps he was even able to build his own suit of armor. Now, it could be really easy to just hand-wave away Keener's appearance at Stark's funeral as a simple cameo, just a reference to Stark's previous exploits. But this is Marvel we're talking about. They aren't exactly known for doing things just cuz. Keener was at that funeral for a reason. For our money, it was to keep him fresh in our minds for a role in a future Young Avengers film. Of course, they could also set the film a bit further in the future and have Stark's daughter Morgan suit up, following in the footsteps of both her father and mother, who finally got her own armor at the end of Endgame. Though that might be a bit of a stretch. Sadly, the MCU doesn't have any analogs for Hulkling, Wiccan, or Patriot. So there really isn't much that we can talk about in regards to those members. The franchise also doesn't have a Kate Bishop either, but do you know what it does have? Clint Barton's daughter, Lila. During the cold open of Avengers Endgame, we got to see Clint and his family in their element during a picnic out near their rural home. During this time, Barton was seen teaching his lone daughter Lila how to properly aim a bow. As would be expected of the daughter of the world's greatest marksman, she of course hit a bullseye. She might not be the best shot in the world yet, but the film shows us that she has some natural talent for it, and with her father's training, she could become a quality archer in her own right. So okay, slow down, ScreenRant guy. She just shot a bow one time. That doesn't put her on the same level as Kate Bishop, let alone making her qualified to hold a spot on an Avengers team. True. Not gonna lie, her current skill set is a bit lacking. But there is nothing stopping Disney and Marvel from expanding on her abilities, bringing her in line with what one would expect from a superhero. Plus, with Barton more than likely retired once again from heroing, he could very easily spend his free time training Lila. Because, you know, what else does he have to do?
Well, I played 18, shot 18. Just can't seem to miss.
It's also worth noting that during the cold open segment, after nailing that bullseye, Barton even went so far as to call her Hawkeye. It was said in jest, but again, Marvel doesn't do things for no reason. So that alone could be a pretty solid hint at her future as a hero. I can't imagine that her mom would be too big a fan of her following in her father's footsteps, but when the world needs saving from an evil warlord from the quantum realm, you gotta step up. Finally, let's talk about perhaps the most obvious member of the Young Avengers, Cassie Lang. Cassie has actually been a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe for years at this point, first making her appearance alongside her father in 2015's Ant-Man. And while her role in that film was relatively minor, she played a bigger part in that film's sequel, 2018's Ant-Man and the Wasp. That film is actually where the seeds of Cassie's turn as a hero really started to be planted. Specifically during the scene where she's speaking with Scott in his home during a time when he desperately needed a pep talk. She specifically mentions her desire to be a hero herself.
I'd be a great partner.
Oh, Peanut.
Perhaps acting as her father's partner. Scott does admit that she would make a great hero, but states that he would be a terrible father if he let her. Well, now that she is much older thanks to the 5-year time skip that occurred in Endgame, he might not get a say in the matter anymore. Cassie's road to becoming Stature really wouldn't be too difficult of one. Unlike Lila Barton, who needs to learn a whole skill set that we've only just seen a small inkling of, all Cassie would really need to do is get a hold of some tech from her father or his girlfriend, Hope Van Dyne. And with how derpy her dad can be from time to time, I really don't think it would be too hard to snag some from him. So that gives us a roster of 3 total heroes: Harley Keener's Iron Lad, Lila Barton's Hawkeye, and Cassie Lang's Stature. 3 is a good start, but hardly makes for a full superhero team. So who else could possibly make the cut? Shuri might seem like a good fit, though her age might be a bit outside the young adult range. That being said, having her take a more front and center role in a film would be pretty awesome to see, especially after she joined the fight at the end of Endgame. If Marvel is willing to finally dip into the television side of things, Tyrone and Tandy from the Freeform series Cloak and Dagger would make for some non-traditional members of the roster, bringing a bit more edge, given that their entire origin is focused around a shared tragedy. Kinda doubt that they'll make the team though, as we've all seen that the movie side of Marvel doesn't exactly play nice with the television side. Though we did get the first TV crossover in Endgame, with Howard Stark's butler Jarvis from Agent Carter making his debut during the 1970s segment. So, never say never?
I'm saying there may be a causality.
Finally, the last member of the roster who could possibly make the list is Kid Loki. In the comics, Kid Loki was simply just regular Loki, who found himself trapped in a child's body following his death and reincarnation. Gee, that sounds sort of familiar. Didn't he bite the big one in Infinity War? While nothing in Endgame really made us think that Loki is going to be popping up as a child, any opportunity at all to see the God of Mischief make another appearance on the big screen would be more than welcomed by fans. Though not having him be portrayed by Tom Hiddleston might leave some fans a bit disappointed. For them though, there's always the Disney Plus series, which will feature Hiddleston in the role. Kid Loki might be the biggest stretch of all, but who knows? As Endgame brings us to the close of the Infinity Saga, we don't really know what to expect from the MCU moving forward. anything at all could happen. Who's to say that Loki isn't going to be reincarnated as a child, primed and ready to join the Young Avengers? Either way, no matter who makes the roster, a Young Avengers film would be pretty awesome to see. And with Endgame fanning the flames of speculation, you never know. It could be not that far off.
Best of both worlds.
What would you like to see in a Young Avengers film? Who do you think should make the roster? Let us know down in the comments below. And while you're down there, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to ScreenRant for more awesome videos just like this one. Thanks for watching.